What we do every day here on Astro AWANI. Catch me every weeknights at 10:30 p.m. across all AWANI platforms.
Good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Soraya Mia. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim says he did not meddle in the corruption trial of Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Zahid Hamidi, who was granted a discharge not amounting to an acquittal, DNAA. Anwar stressed that it was the decision of the then Attorney General, Tan Sri Idris Harun, who was appointed in March 6, 2020.
Peguam negara itu peguam negara yang dipilih oleh ketua yang berhormat. Dan saya tidak tukar ketua peguam negara itu. Saya lepas itu dituduh, saya bukan bincang, saya tanya, apakah alasan kuat untuk berikan DNAA? Kemudian SPRM buat keputusan mengatakan siasatan diteruskan dan kalau ada bukti tambahan akan teruskan pendakwaan. Jadi saya diminta sekarang seolah-olah mesti arah peguam negara. Kalau saya arah peguam negara dakwa TPM 1, saya jadi hero. Tapi saya tidak boleh langgar 1453.
Setuju.
Ya, saya tahu tak puas hati, ramai yang tak puas hati.
Meanwhile, the opposition staged a walkout in Parliament today in protest of a ruling by Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul. This is after the Speaker ordered Putrajaya MP Datuk Sri Razi Jidin to leave the session following a heated exchange in the August House.
The incident began as Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim was providing an explanation over the outcome of Datuk Sri Zahid Hamidi's graft case. Anwar had alluded that Razi and his party were involved in questionable practices during the latter's time in the Perikatan Nasional Administration. Razi then requested Anwar to withdraw his statement, citing Standing Order 36(6) of the House for having ill intention repeatedly before he was ordered to leave the House. As a sign of solidarity, a majority of the opposition bloc MPs left the proceedings, except Ketere MP Clay Muhammad Noor, who chose to stay back in order to ask the Prime Minister about his constituency allocations. He then proceeded to leave the sitting after his query was answered.
Selangor Perikatan Nasional has appointed Hulu Klang Assembly person Datuk Sri Azmin Ali as the state's opposition chief. Speaker Lau Weng San made the announcement during the first sitting of the State Assembly today. Azmin, the former Selangor Menteri Besar, will lead the State Legislative Assembly's block of 22 Perikatan elected representatives. The role of opposition leader in the previous term was held by Sungai Air Tawar Assemblyman Datuk Rizam Ismail from Barisan Nasional. He is now State Executive Councillor for Rural Development and Unity. Former Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin will file an application to strike out the 3 charges against him, amounting to about 200 million ringgit linked to the Jana Wibawa project. His lead counsel, Hisham Tepotek, told the Sessions Court the application will be filed soon.
According to Hisham, the application to set aside the charges will be made under Section 173G of the Criminal Procedure Code. He added that the defence will also write to the prosecution for an agreement for the variation of bail and request for the Perikatan chairman's passport. The Bersatu president did not appear at the proceedings on Tuesday and was reportedly granted an exemption from the court. Muhyiddin was charged under Section 4(1) of the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001 for abuse of power, as well as 1 count of receiving 5 million ringgit from an illegal activity.
In other news, the Health Ministry will investigate allegations of baby snatching cases at a government hospital in Sabah. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa says she will also meet with the relevant medical officers to probe the issue further.
Saya bersetuju perkara sebegini tidak sepatutnya berlaku di hospital, khususnya hospital kerajaan lah, hospital public ini ya. Dan bagi saya polisi no wrong door polisi yang kita laksanakan ini perlu kita laksanakan baik-baik. Dan saya setuju untuk perkara macam ni kita perlu buat penelitian dan juga kita perlu juga laporan polis yang sedang dilaksanakan itu kita lihatlah macam mana nanti keputusannya. Dan saya buat sementara ini kita akan buat penambahbaikan dan mungkin kita kena juga perlu bertemu secara bersemuka dengan petugas-petugas kita di hospital tersebut untuk mendapatkan maklumat lebih lanjut lah dan melakukan penambahbaikan.
On September 15th, a news portal reported an incident of a baby being taken away from its mother due to alleged lack of documentation. The Sabah Health Department has denied such claims and lodged a police report, adding that such activities did not take place at any of its government hospitals in the state.
Malaysia Airlines could consider offering additional benefits to passengers to make up for the temporary suspension of hot meals on board its flights. Minister Anthony Loke said this when asked in the Dewan Rakyat about the possibility of Malaysia Airlines reducing ticket prices due to the catering issue. He added that the government could not intervene by advising the national carrier to reduce its fares.
Saya pasti bahawa servis dan juga makanan yang dibekalkan oleh pihak Malaysia Airlines ini mesti ditambah baik. Dan ini sesuatu yang kita tak deny bahawa perlu ada penambahbaikan. Dan untuk harga itu bagi pihak pengurusan mas mereka perlu lihatlah. Sebab dalam perkara ini saya rasa yang Muhammad faham bahawa pihak kerajaan tidak campur tangan dari segi pengenaan harga tiket kapal terbang. Ini merupakan satu keputusan daripada syarikat.
Last month, Malaysia Airlines ended its catering contract with Brahim's Food Services following stalled negotiations between the two parties. The airline said it aimed to restore its in-flight meal services by mid-November.
The Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry is reviewing existing laws on e-commerce to propose better legislations for the welfare of industry players and consumers. Deputy Minister Fuzia Saleh said the ministry will work with e-commerce platform providers and consumer associations to streamline and enhance the legislation.
The laws under review are the Electronic Commerce Act 2006, the Consumer Protection Act 1999, and the Consumer Protection Electronic Trade Transactions Regulations 2012. Fuzia said there is currently no law regulating goods on e-commerce platforms or one that requires vendors on a platform to ensure that the goods they offer exist. Service providers, she added, also cannot take action against sellers if a problem arises. As of August 31st this year, a total of 10,377 complaints had been received, with 35% involving online transactions. Fuzia said these complaints also include the sale of essential items such as rice, sugar and packed cooking oil at a higher price than the controlled price.
We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Dahagakan bola sepak. Dahagakan aksi. Dahagakan kemenangan. Masih dahaga?
It's him. You're the god of mischief. Always will be.
네 비밀을 지켜주기 위해 내 비밀도 얘기해줄게.
Apa sahaja yang anda inginkan, hanya satu klik. Bila-bila masa, di mana jua. Switch ke Astro baru sekarang.
Asking the tough questions is what we do every day here on Astro AWANI. Catch me every weeknights at 10:30 p.m. across all AWANI platforms.
Welcome back. The time has come for global institutions to adapt to the world's current needs and challenges. Speaking at the 78th UN General Assembly, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says failure to reform such institutions would risk them becoming part of the problem.
Indeed, divides are deepening. Divides among economic and military powers, divides between North and South, East and West. We are inching ever closer to a great fracture in economic and financial systems and trade relations, one that threatens a single open internet with diverging strategies on technology and artificial intelligence and potentially clashing security frameworks. It is high time to renew multilateral institutions based on 21st century economic and political realities rooted in equity, solidarity, and universality.
India had expelled a Canadian diplomat with 5 days' notice to leave the country, just hours after Ottawa expelled India's top intelligence agent. Canada had accused India's government of involvement in the killing of a Canadian Sikh leader, which India denies. Canadian High Commissioner in New Delhi, Cameron McKay, was seen entering and leaving India's foreign ministry on Tuesday, after he was summoned and told of the expulsion decision. Canada on Monday said it was actively pursuing allegations linking Indian government agents to the murder in British Columbia in June. Earlier on Tuesday, India dismissed the Canadian accusation and urged it to take legal action instead against anti-Indian elements operating from its soil. Hardeep Singh Nijjar was shot dead outside a Sikh temple on June 18 in Surrey, a Vancouver suburb with a large Sikh population. Nijjar supported a Sikh homeland in the form of an independent Khalistani state and was designated by India as a terrorist in July 2020. Meanwhile, thousands of National Health Service NHS consultants are on strike across England over an escalating pay dispute as the country braces itself for another wave of industrial action. The strike will last for 2 days, with junior doctors joining them tomorrow in the first ever joint strike in the history of NHS.
This is the third walkout by consultants and the sixth by junior doctors, who will then continue to strike on Thursday and Friday this week. Both groups are due to hold 3 further days of joint strike action next month. Nearly 1 million appointments and treatments have been postponed due to industrial action since December. But the government has outlined plans to expand strike laws in order to ensure doctors and nurses in hospitals provide a minimum level of cover that could come into force next year. The UK government last July made its final offer to consultants with a 6% raise and junior doctors an average of 8.8% raise depending on their level. But junior doctors are asking for a 35% pay rise to make up for what they described as 15 years of below-inflation wage increments.
YouTube had blocked Russell Brand from making money from his online channel after the British actor and comedian was accused of a string of sexual assaults. YouTube said Brand had violated its creator responsibility policy, and the video platform was taking action to protect its users. Brand had denied the allegations, saying he never had non-consensual sex. 4 women have so far come forward in a documentary to accuse the 48-year-old of sexual assault, including rape, between 2006 and 2013. London police said on Monday they had since received an allegation of sexual assault dating back to 2003. The move by YouTube also comes after the remaining dates of Brand's live comedy show tour were postponed. The former TV and radio personality has repositioned himself in recent years, regularly posting videos to his 6.6 million subscribers about spirituality, anti-establishment politics, and most recently, UFOs. Elon Musk says he may require all users to pay a monthly fee to access his social media platform X. According to the billionaire, a payment system was the only way to counter bots.
He made the comments during a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who was on a trip to California. During the conversation with Musk on Monday, Netanyahu raised the issue of online anti-Semitism and how X could prevent the use of bots to replicate and amplify it. Bots, or accounts run by computer programs rather than people, are common on X, where they can be used to artificially amplify political messages or racial hatred. Musk has long said that his solution to getting rid of bots and fake accounts on the social media platform is to charge for verification, Since taking over Twitter last year, he has looked to incentivize users to pay for an enhanced service, which is now called X Premium.
That report wraps up Awani Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Soraya Mia, and we'll see you again.